In this session, we're going to learn how to get data into Acumatica through an integration. So let's start off with going over into our integration module. That's over in my integration workspace. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a data provider. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to create a scenario. And then finally, what we would do is create an import by scenario. That would be where we actually run the integration. So to get started, let's go to the data providers link. And this is going to show us a list of all of our existing providers. And I'm just going to choose the first one, AP bills. And what you do is you name the file to decide what type. And you can see here a list of all the different types of providers. Excel is just nice and convenient, but you do have SQL and CSV files, and you see all the rest. And once you've provided that information, then you have to provide the file. Up here in my links section, you can see I've already provided a file. If I click that link, it downloads, and I'll show you what that file looks like. And there you see it includes all kinds of information like the type of transaction, my vendor ID, line descriptions, etc., dollar amounts, what have you. And after you've uploaded that file, you're going to build the sequence. We'll get to the scenario later. And that schema, what I was trying to say here, is what matches up with those different columns. So you have the name, the provider, then you upload the file, and you build the schema so that Acumatica can then read the information off of that file. That's the data provider. And you can reuse this data provider as many times as you like. So after setting up the provider, now we move on to the next step, which is building the scenario. And this is where we map the target information to the destination. So there you see at the top, I have the Acu Import AP bills, which is using the provider we created just a moment ago, or we reviewed just a moment ago. And so after loading the information, we're going to push the data into the bills and adjustment screen using the spreadsheet that we provided a moment ago. And then here you see the target. And over here, you see the source. And so as we're building this information out, we're going to take the data from the source and push it over to the target. And that target is actually made up of both the table and the field. So that's where we're taking the data from the provider, pushing it into the destination, but basically building the map where if you want the bridge between the two sources of data. After we built that bridge, then we're going to move on to the next step, which is the import by scenario. And this is where we're literally running that information. So we built the bridge, we built the data provider, and now we can load the data from that spreadsheet. You can see that was already done here in the screen. That would be the prepare button, and then the import button is what pushes the data again into that bills and adjustment screen. You can choose which items are active or which ones have already been processed, and you can still update the data accordingly in this table after it was loaded from the spreadsheet. But that is how you get data into Acumatica. And just to reiterate, you're not limited to like I was doing here on my bills and adjustments. If we go back to an import scenario screen and start with a brand new one, you're going to see that every screen inside of Acumatica, practically every screen inside of Acumatica, is available for pushing data in to the system, master records as well as transactional.